I just read a crazy statistic. 3 out of 5 Americans don't know what they spent last month. That is crazy. Today, I want to talk about the 8 tips I have for you on how you can budget so that you don't even have to worry about what you spent last month because you can invest your money and make it grow faster. Let's dive in and see what those 8 tips are. Today, I'm so excited to share with you the 8 tips I have for you on how you can budget so that you can invest your money and make it grow and build generational wealth. Let's talk about what they are. The first tip I have for you seems a little bit intuitive, and it should be. It's simply spend less than you make. Susie Orman famously said, live below your means, but within your needs. Just because you can afford it, it doesn't mean you should buy it. The first rule of budgeting for investing is to make your expenses lower than your income so that you can begin to invest the difference. I can't stress that enough. It seems like a very simple concept, but most Americans don't follow this rule. And that's why we have a lot of consumer debt, aka credit card debt in this country. So make sure that when you are earning an income, you're living not just within your means, but well below your means. And if you can't make it work, then look for creative ways to cut those expenses and or increase your income. The second tip I have for you is to budget for the basics. Most people don't budget for the things they need and won't think about what they spend on food, rent, and transportation. Find extra cash to invest by carpooling, limiting how much you eat out, and potentially downsizing or renting out a space. Every little bit of extra helps. There are so many resources out there these days that help you with saving money and how you can cut expenses. There are different tools that will help show you where you're spending unnecessary money. For example, subscriptions. Maybe you're subscribed to Hulu and Netflix, and I know I had that happen to me not too long ago, and so I found an app that helped me unroll all those unnecessary subscriptions I forgot that I even had subscribed to in the first place. And what happens sometimes is it's $3 a month or $4.99 a month, but all of those things add up so you can cut those expenses very quickly and easily and use that money to then invest into assets that will grow your wealth over time. Number 3 is invest early. A lot of people really underestimate the power of time in investments. Imagine your friend who majored in finance started investing $200 per month in stocks when she was 25. Assuming a 7% average annual growth, by age 65, her portfolio would be worth more than $520,000. You, on the other hand, don't start investing until age 35. You also contribute $200 per month, but by 65, your portfolio would only be worth about $245,000. Waiting 10 years killed over half of your opportunity. That's a massive difference for just waiting 10 years. And that number compounds with time. And it's because when you invest early, you have the time to continue compounding your investments, and your interest that you're earning can also be reinvested and continue growing as well. So your growth when you're investing is not a linear line like this. It's actually exponential. So it's very important to understand that you need to get in as early as possible. And if you have kids, think about what it would do for them if you started teaching them to invest at 2, 3, 4, 5 years old. Even $1 here and $1 there can make a massive difference. As you can see, 10 years is a long amount of time in the grand scheme of investment. So make sure you start investing early and teaching your kids to do so as well. The 4th tip I have for you is really an important one. It's about credit card usage. Don't buy anything with a credit card that you couldn't buy with cash. With average rates being around 20.4% APR for new offers and 15.1% APR for existing accounts, you will rarely make more money in an investment opportunity than by simply paying off your existing credit card debt. I can't stress this enough, because if you think about it and you have, let's say, even $100 on your credit card and you're paying a 20% APR, that means to just have that $100 sitting on your credit card, the credit card company is charging you $20 per year to have that $100. That's extraordinarily expensive. Now, if you pay that off, you consider it like you're almost getting a 20% return on your funds. But what you really should be doing is not having any credit card debt. If you can, try to limit your spending to only what you can pay in cash. Whenever I buy anything, I always put it on a credit card for multiple reasons. One, I like the points. Two, I also like the protection that a lot of the credit cards give you. But more importantly, I always buy things that I can pay off in full. So I never carry a balance over to the next month. I always pay it down in full at the end of every month. And if I can't do that, I simply don't buy it, and I wait and I budget for it, or I plan accordingly so that I can buy it in cash. And then I buy it in a card and immediately pay off the card. So it's very important that you are mindful of your credit cards, because they can get very expensive very quickly, and you can start spending over your means in an easy way, and you really want to limit that to what you can afford. For number 5, let's talk about splurging. When it comes to things you don't need, don't buy luxury items that you can't afford to purchase twice comfortably. That means if you want a new phone for $1,000, save at least $2,000 and some change before buying it. This is a rule that I still to this day follow religiously, because I like some nice things. I have, my guilty pleasures, if you will. But I always make sure that no matter what I'm buying, I can afford to buy it twice. And the reason is, when you can afford to buy it twice, it means you probably really can afford it. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't want to buy something and then have to buy it again because I lost it or broke. But when those things happen, it's not as stressful for you. It's still sad when you lose things that you bought that you love. And it's happened to me before, but it wasn't life-changing, and it wasn't something that was a major source of financial stress, because I knew I could always replace it if I wanted to. So this is a rule that I live by. When you're splurging, make sure that you can comfortably afford to buy it twice, not just the one time that you save up for it. My 6th tip for you is to responsibly leverage. Banks will allow you to borrow up to 45% DTI, but you should rarely accept that much. Living off of half your income can be very difficult. So before you assume debt, verify that you can comfortably live within your allotted budget. This one is kind of crazy to me, because 45% DTI is not of your net income. It's not after what you pay to the government and FICA and all of that. It's not based off of that calculation. It's based off of your gross income. So if you make $5,000 a month, that 45% is calculated based off of the $5,000, not what you actually take home or what your take-home pay is. That is an insane amount of leverage to take on when you have to spend all of your other things out of the remaining 55%. And now some banks will even let you take up to 50 or 55% debt to income, which can be a very precarious situation you're putting yourself into. Think about it. You have to pay for food, bills, car payments, insurance, and you need to leave some money for investing after that. So make sure when you're looking at leveraging a house that you are responsibly leveraging, and you're not just going for the maximum amount that the bank will give you, because it'll leave every other area of your life very tight, and it can be a little bit stressful to do that. So responsibly leverage is my number 6 tip for you. My number 7 tip for you is don't risk it all. What do I mean by that? Know where your line is and where you're comfortable risking and what you're willing to take on for your individual portfolio. Never leverage your family home to fund an investment or an expense. While some investors may encourage this aggressive tactic to acquire more property, providing for your family is the ultimate goal of investing. Don't jeopardize your family's home life in trying to get financially ahead. This is a golden rule that I follow day in and day out, and I never, ever, ever leverage my personal home to pay for something else. It's the one rule that I have, and I know that there's a lot of people out there that will encourage you to take out a HELOC or a line of credit, or refinance your house so you can pull that cash back out and then invest it. And yes, they are right. That is unrealized equity sitting in your home. But for me, it's a source of security, and it's mental peace in my mind that I'm not over leveraging or jeopardizing the house where my kids live, my family lives, where we feel safe, and it's our sanctuary. So I really recommend that you consider for yourself what your risk tolerance is. And for me, it's that we never leverage the personal home for investments. We look for other ways to invest, not utilizing our personal home. The 8th tip I have is actually my favorite, and so we saved the best for last. The rule with liabilities. Don't buy any liabilities that an asset doesn't pay for. This may look like saving up for a rental property in order to allow the cash flow from the asset to pay for the new car you've been wanting. This is a rule that I follow very strictly in my house too, and this is something that the wealthy elite will follow in order to make sure they're continuing to build wealth. And it helps you not live outside of your means and grow your portfolio at the same time. For example, let's say that I wanted to buy a new bag, right? A new Chanel bag, because it's no secret that I actually really love Chanel. And what I'll do is I won't go and take money from my earned income, which is money that I have to trade my time to earn to go and buy that $3,000, $5,000 bag. What I'll actually do is I'll take that money, I'll invest it somewhere, and then I'll utilize whatever cash flow comes from that investment to buy the liability that I want. And I think of all of my liabilities like that, whether it's the new bag or the vacation or the car, it doesn't matter. All I want to do is take earned income, invest all of the earned income that I can, and let the cash flow pay for liabilities. And what'll happen is over time, you can continue building up your portfolio. You can build way more passive income, and that can not only pay for liabilities, it can pay for expenses, and then it can pay for all the fun things you want to do right up front instead of having to wait. But delayed gratification by investing the money first and then utilizing cash flow from that to buy the liabilities will make you wealthy. This is how you will build generational wealth, by following this principle, because it takes a lot of discipline to do and it's harder to do, but it is something that will be crucial to you being able to build that net worth. These were my top 8 tips for budgeting so that you can use that money to invest and build your own portfolio, like I have through multifamily investments. If you want more information, click the link below. I've been able to build up my passive income streams by investing into assets like multifamily. And so in the 8th rule, I utilize my multifamily investments and the cash flow from that to go and buy the liabilities that I want, and you can do the same. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and watch the next video. Wrong, 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 wrong.